Right, we're actually going to start today in our easy seat. So whatever that is for you, whether it's on your knees or whether you prefer to be cross-legged, but you want your spine to be nice and tall. So if you feel yourself crouching over, then either you can have your feet out in front of you or come back onto your knees. So whatever suits your anatomy best. So it's a hybrid class today. I've got my lovely friend Kat here. Came to Cornwall on holiday for the weekend, didn't quite make it home yet, so Kat's very kindly agreed that we can do yoga in her house today. And we're going to continue the theme of the moon as well. So obviously we've been following the quarters of the moon this month. So this week it is moving into a full moon, so energies are probably quite high. So tonight's class is all about balancing out those energies and cultivating awareness of how we are feeling. So start with just gently close your eyes and just take a moment to check in with where you're at today. So let the spine sit nice and tall whilst it honours its natural curves. And then just take your focus to the breath. Not trying to change it in any way, shape or form. Just noticing its natural ebb and flow in and out of the body. Noticing the length of the breath, both on the inhale and on the exhale. And also notice the spaces in between. Maybe there's a slight pause at the top of the inhale, and maybe another pause at the end of the exhale. Notice where the breath moves your body, where it moves with ease, and also where it feels restricted. And then take your awareness to how you feel this evening. Checking in with the body, noticing if there's any emotions or sensations, noticing if there's anywhere you're holding tension or any tight spots. Simply noticing. And then gently flutter your eyes open, and we'll start with a breathing sequence that is all about balancing the energies through the different chakras in the body, so through the different wheels of energy. So starting with block breath. So really notice your sit bones, however you're sitting, whether you're sitting on your heels or whether you're sitting on the floor. Really notice your sit bones and what's beneath them. Really grounding down through those sit bones as you lift the rest of your spine up towards the ceiling. And then we'll start with block breath. So breathing in for 4, holding the breath for 4, breathing out for 4, and then holding the breath out for 4. We can either have our hands on our knees or our hands rested in our lap, whichever feels more natural. So exhale out any breath you have in the body. Then in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. In. Hold. Out. Hold. In. Hold. Out. Hold. In. Hold. Out. Hold. Then let the breath come back to normal. The next one we'll do is cat-cow, but really think, as we're doing seated cat-cow, of tilting the pelvis forward and tilting the pelvis back as we're moving through cat-cow. So as we inhale, we really tilt the pelvis forward and we let our belly come forward and our chest come forwards. But as we exhale out, we tilt it back and we tuck the tailbone under so we can really round through the shoulders. Okay, so inhale as you're coming forwards, tilt the pelvis forwards, stretch the chest. Exhale, take it back, tuck the tailbone under. Inhale, bring it forwards, tilt the pelvis forwards. Exhale, tuck that tailbone under, round through the shoulders. 3 more, so coming forwards, really tilt that pelvis, open the chest. Exhale, round through the shoulders, tuck the tailbone under. Inhale, coming forwards. I've now lost count. Exhale, going back. I always lose count. Let's do one more for good luck. Inhale, coming forwards. And then exhale, going back. Excellent. And then still sat, and you can always change your position if your legs get numb halfway through or if something doesn't feel good. But this time we're moving on up to the solar plexus, so kind of the bottom of the rib cage. This one's a twist. So start with your hands as though you were going to do some very special crouching dancing. And then take a nice big inhale at center. Exhale as you twist around towards the left. I should have said on mirror, so everything's the wrong way around for you. And then inhale back to center. And then exhale, twist to the right. Keeping those shoulders and those arms in the same position. So inhaling straight, exhaling to twist. Inhaling straight, and then exhale to twist the other way. Excellent. Coming back to center, nice big inhale. Exhale, twist one way. Inhale back through center. Exhale, twist the other way. Inhale through center. Exhale, twist. Inhale through center. And exhale, twist. Excellent. Inhale back to center and exhale, let the arms come down. Next one's all about the heart, so we need to give ourselves some self-love. So one of my favorites, hugging breath. So as you inhale to open the arms out to the sides, really expanding the air into the chest. Then as you exhale, cross the arms over and give yourself a hug, dropping the chin to the chest. So inhale to open it up, stretching those hands out to the side. And then exhale, cross the other arm over the top, and give yourself a hug, drop the chin. Inhale to stretch it open. Nice big inhale, filling those lungs up, opening the chest. Exhale, cross it over the other way and give yourself a hug. So inhale to open. Really expanding that chest, reaching the hands back. And then exhale, give yourself a hug. Get those hands involved. Give yourself a proper good hug. Inhale to open. Exhale to hug. Inhale to open. And exhale to hug. Excellent. And then let that one go. Okay, this next one's a little bit strange. So we interlace all of our fingers but then bring the thumbs together and the little fingers together. So it's almost like a hang loose, but your little fingers are straight and your thumbs are straight. Then point your thumbs towards you, point them down and press your little fingers into the nook in between your two collarbones. So this is a breath for the throat chakra. So with this slight restriction of your little fingers on your throat chakra, we're going to take 6 even breaths, just doing them with the size of your lungs. So just take 3 even ins and outs. If they're a 4 count, a 5 count, or a 6 count, it really doesn't matter. So just do 6 in your own time, and then once you've finished, just remove your hands back to your lap so that I know that you're done. Excellent stuff. Okay, the next one's for your third eye. So this time we're keeping our eyes to the horizon and our eyes are looking forward. We start with our hands out in front of us, with our eyes obviously can see our hands at this point. As we inhale, we open our arms out to the sides, keeping them at the same level, and stretch them back, just noticing when they disappear out of our peripheral vision. And then as you exhale, bring the hands back together, keeping the eyes forward, but noticing when your hands come back into your line of sight once more. So inhale to open, and then exhale to close. Keeping the eyes forward and just paying attention to the hands. Inhaling to open. Notice when those hands disappear, and then exhale to close. Inhale to open, and exhale to close. Inhale to open, and exhale to close. One more, keeping those eyes forwards. Inhale, open, notice when the hands disappear. And then exhale to close, notice when the hands reappear. Good. And then bring the hands back to heart center. Last one's for the crown chakra, right on top of our head. So we inhale the hands up from heart center, all the way above your head, looking up towards your fingers. And then exhale, draw a great big circle of light around you, like the full moon that we're going to have this week. I've gone all spiritual this evening. Inhale the hands straight up in front of us, looking up towards the fingers. And then exhale it out to the sides. Inhale it up through the center, looking up. And then exhale out to the sides. One more, inhaling it up. And exhaling it out. Brilliant stuff. Okay, time for moon salutations. So coming to the tops of your mats. I'm going to do this facing the camera today because otherwise left and rights are going to get really, really confusing. So I normally practice this way on so that everything's mirrored. Yeah, but they were different tonight. Okay, so standing at the top of your mat. We're basically going to do a moon salutation one way and then the other way to create our full moon. So start by really grounding down on the floor beneath you, really feeling those feet on your mat. Gently close your eyes and get your weight really perfectly balanced over your feet. So sway it forward and sway it back and find the sweet spot. Maybe sway it side to side and find the sweet spot. And then once you're there, really feel your feet pressing into the mat. Palms face forward into Tadasana. Take a nice big inhale and raise the arms up above your head. From here, I'll just bend down so you can see me. We want to interlace our fingers and press the palms towards the ceiling. So really stretching up tall. Excellent. Remember, you can have your feet directly close to one another if that feels good on your hips, or you can have them hip width, whichever suits you best. Then lifting up and out of the waist, go over towards one side, making yourself into a crescent moon shape. Really trying to make that curve through your spine nice and even so we're not dumping into the lower back. Then inhale back to center and exhale over to the other side. Trying to keep the hips facing forwards, really stretching out through all of the ribs. Beautiful. Inhale it back up to center. Exhale the arms down by your sides and take a quarter turn to the left. And then take a really big step to the left, so your legs are nice and wide. Turn the toes out so that they're pointing towards the corners of your mats. And then take your hips down into goddess and bring your arms into goddess pose. So take a nice big inhale here. See if you can get your hips a little bit lower. See if you can open the knees out a little bit wider. Really feel those feet pressing down into the mat beneath you. Take another nice big inhale here. And a nice big exhale here. Then inhale as you come up, straighten the legs and stretch the arms out into a star. Turn the left foot towards the back of your mat, bring your arms to shoulder height, and then stretch your left arm towards the back of the mat, flip the palms to the side of the mat and come into triangle pose. Good. So the left hand can rest either inside of the ankle or on your shin, maybe on the floor, depending where your practice is at this evening. Be kind to yourself. Couple of breaths here. Excellent. Now windmill the top arm down towards the floor and turn the hips towards the back of your mat so that your hands can frame the front foot. Keeping the legs nice and long, maybe take a slightly smaller step. Stretch your chest towards your knee and your head towards your shin. If you feel comfortable and balanced here, you can take your hands behind your back and either go elbow to elbow or into reverse prayer. We want to try and keep our back stretching as much as possible. And then release the hands down either side of the front foot. Bend the back knee and bring the knee down to the floor so we're in a low lunge. Inhale the arms up above your head. Stretch the chest forwards and then reach the hands back so we're going into a gentle back bend in our low lunge. Couple of breaths here. Hands can be shoulder width or together, whatever feels more natural. Good. Bring the hands back down to frame the front foot. Walk them around to the inside of that left foot and come into a side lunge. So the right foot comes up off the floor and the left leg is bent. Your heel can be raised, that's absolutely fine. And then from there, we walk our hands across as we move to a side lunge on the other side. So the left toes are now pointing up towards the ceiling. You'll probably find the heel of the right foot is off of the mat and the hands are just the inside of the knee. Beautiful. And then walk those hands around to frame the front foot and turn on the back toes and then eventually drop the knee so that we can come into a low lunge on this side. So right foot is forward, left leg is back. We inhale, the arms are up. Drop the hips forward and down and then open the chest to the ceiling, stretch the hands back. Really pull those inner thighs towards one another to give you more balance. And take a couple of breaths here. Then coming back up, take the hands down to frame the front foot. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, take a slightly smaller step. So we're coming back into our intense side stretch now. So our chest is going towards our knee, our head is going towards our shin. You can keep the fingers on the floor if that feels good. If you want to take elbow to elbow, then reach opposite hand to opposite elbow. And if reverse prayer is in your practice, then you can do reverse prayer, holding the shoulders back, really stretching the chest towards the knee, stretching the head towards the shin. One more breath here. And then release that down. Your right hand comes to the inside edge of the mat. Turn your back foot so that you can come into triangle pose on this side. If you need to raise your hand, resting it on your shin, wherever is good for your practice, then feel free to do that. And you can either look down towards the bottom hand or up towards the top hand, whichever feels best on your neck. Couple of breaths here. Really trying to lengthen down both sides of the body, so we're not just dumping into our hip. Good. Then really engage the muscles in the legs. Press the feet into the ground. Pull the tummy muscles in and come back up so that the arms are shoulder height. Excellent. Turn the front foot so that our toes are going towards the corner of our mat, and turn the back foot so that the toes are going towards the corner of our mat, and then come back down into your goddess. So really trying to open those knees wide, really sinking those hips down, trying to keep the spine nice and tall. Tailbone is stretching down towards the floor, and your shoulders are stretching up towards the ceiling. Nice big inhale here. Nice big exhale here. Then coming up through center, relax the arms down by your sides and take the step back towards the tops of your mats. Inhale the arms up above your head. Push the palms away towards the ceiling, and either with your feet together or hip width, do a nice crescent stretch over to one side. Inhale through center, and then exhale over to the other side. Inhale through center, bring the hands down to the sides. And now we know where we're going, we'll do the right side. So inhaling arms up, and then press the palms away. Take a nice big inhale here, really grounding down through the feet, press the feet into the mat. Exhale over to one side, trying to make the curve down your side as even as possible, taking the hips over to the opposite side. And then coming back up through center on a nice big inhale. Exhale, take the hips over, stretch the arms. Come back through center. Exhale the hands down by your sides. Take a quarter turn to the right this time. And then take a nice big step to the right. Dropping the hips down, come into your goddess pose. So, yeah, cool. So hips are nice and low. Shoulders are open. Your breath is really filling your chest with air. Try and open those knees out. Maybe take the hips a little bit lower. Good. Then coming up, stretch the arms into a star. Turn the right foot so that it points towards the back of the mat. Bring the hands to shoulder level, so the arms to shoulder level. And turn the left foot in so that your side of your foot is parallel to the front of your mat. Stretch the right hand towards the back of the mat, and then pivoting from the hips, come into your triangle pose. Good, couple of breaths here, either looking down or looking up, whichever suits you best. Couple of breaths here. Excellent. Then bringing the left hand down to the mat. Turn the hips to the back of your mat, readjusting your feet as feels comfortable. And then stretch that chest down towards your knee.
So for those of you who want a side view, we're stretching our chest towards the knee, maybe taking our arms behind the back, maybe coming into reverse prayer. Couple of breaths here. Then release the hands down to frame the front foot. We're going to turn that foot to the side again and come into our side lunge. So the hips are open towards the side of the mat. The toes of the left foot are pointing up towards the ceiling. And our hands are on the inside edge of our knee. Beautiful job. Couple of breaths here. And then we switch it over to the other leg. So coming back to the tops of our mats. So now the right toes are up towards the ceiling. Really feel that stretch down the inner thigh of the left leg. And take the hips up and walk the hands around to the front of the mat, bringing your feet with you as you go, and come into our intense side angle stretch once more. So chest is down towards the knee, your head is stretching towards the shin. Hands can be either side of the front foot or take them behind your back. Really engage the legs, make sure that the thighs are engaged. Squeeze the inner thighs together to give you more stability. Couple of breaths here. Then drop the left hand down to the mat, the right hand up towards the ceiling. Reposition the feet and take the hips to face the side of your mat, coming into triangle pose. Either looking down towards the bottom thumb or up towards the hand pointing to the ceiling. Really try to lengthen both sides of the body, making them as equal as possible in the stretch. Pulling those inner thighs towards one another. One more breath here. And then really engage the inner thighs. Press down through the mat, pull the tummy muscles in and come back up so that the arms are level with the shoulders. Turn your toes back around so that they're pointing to the corners of the sides of your mat. Inhale the arms up into your star shape and then exhale back down into your goddess. Couple of breaths here. Really pull the inner core muscles in and up. Sit down nice and deep in your pose. Open the chest. Good. Inhale, stretch the fingers up towards the ceiling. Exhale, step the feet together. Then take a quarter turn to the front of the mat. Interlace the fingers, press the palms away. Take a nice big inhale at center, and then exhale, bend it over towards one side in crescent stand, crescent moon, crescent something or other. Couple of breaths here, keeping that armpit open to the ceiling. On your next inhale, come through center, and then on your next exhale, go over to the other side. Beautiful. One more breath here. Then coming up to center and exhale, release those arms down by your sides. Good stuff. I'm getting warm. I need to strip off a layer. That is a full moon salutation, going around one way and going around the other way. I like a moon salutation every now and then. Right, so the next little series I have for you is a pose for each chakra. So we're going to start with grounding. So really ground down through your right foot. Make sure that your balance is really good between the front of your foot and the back of your foot. Then come onto the toes of your left foot. So to start with, we're literally just making sure that we're really well aligned. So make sure that your hip is directly above your ankle and it hasn't knocked out to the side. We're really keeping it up nice and tall. Our core muscles are pulling in and up, all around the front and all around the back. Pull everything in and up. Relax the shoulders down the back. Make sure the spine is nice and tall and the head is balanced on top. Bring your hands to heart center or leave them on your hips, whichever feels best for you. And then keeping that control over the movement, just bring your other foot to your calf. Excellent. And have a few breaths there. Find your point of focus that's really going to help you stay in your pose. Excellent. 2 more breaths like this, really pressing that standing foot into the mat. And then if you want to stay here, stay here. If you want to go deeper, reach down with your right hand and place the foot higher up your inner thigh and stay there. Pressing your inner thigh into your foot as much as your foot is pressing into your inner thigh, so the forces are equal. Excellent. 1 more breath like this. And then release the foot off and bring it back to the mat. Excellent. Now the other side. So start just by coming onto the toes of the right foot. Really ground down through the left foot, making sure that hip is above the ankle and you haven't allowed it to jut out to the side. Pull all of the core muscles in and up. Really feel the very center of your body pulling in and up. Relax the shoulders down the back and then bring the foot to your calf. Really pressing down on the standing foot. Really squeezing all the muscles around the standing leg. Pulling those core muscles in and up once more, finding your point of focus in the distance, or maybe just on the floor in front of you. Couple more breaths here. And then either stay here with your foot on your calf, or if you want to take it deeper, reach down with your right hand and move your foot into your inner thigh. The only place you should never ever put your foot in tree is against your knee, because our knee joints just aren't designed to go sideways. So press your inner thigh into your foot as much as your foot is pressing into your inner thigh. Remember to keep standing up nice and tall, squeezing everything in and up, noticing which side is easier for you to balance on. And notice how your balance is today compared to other days. Every day is different. 1 more breath here. I lied, we're doing 2 more breaths here. And then release that off and take the foot back down to the floor. Excellent stuff, well done. Maybe have a little wiggle of those feet. You know how I love a fascia circle here and there. Okay, so the next one is Goddess. This time we're going to do it facing you. So toes out towards the corners of your mat. It's like you've been in a fitness video before, it's amazing. It's just like move position. Come down into your Goddess with your hands on your knees to start with. And we really want to get some movement around the sacral chakra, which is about 2 inches below your belly button. So what we'll do to start with is we'll drop one shoulder into the middle and really press that knee away, really getting a good stretch down the side body. Then come to the other side and do the same. Moving from one side to the other, as feels good with your breath.
Excellent. And then once you've done both sides equally, come back to center and bring the arms into cactus. From here, we're going to take a nice big inhale, stretch the hands up. And then as you exhale, bring the fists to your hips and come down nice and low. So inhale to stretch up. Exhale. Nice noisy exhale. Inhale, stretch up. Good. Excellent stuff. Stay low this time. Oh yeah, I got ya. Hands back into cactus. And I know how much you love a hand clap. So let's get those fingers clapping into those hands, trying to make as much noise as you can, really clapping them as fast as you can, really opening them as wide as you can, and then clapping those fingers down towards the palms. Maybe take them out to the sides while you're clapping. Maybe take them up above. Keep clapping. Maybe take them down the front. Keep clapping. Clap, 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 clap. Faster, 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 faster. Taking them back to cactus. And then give them a little shake. Stretch those arms up. Oh yeah. Get those hands working. Get those forearms working. Okay, back down into our goddess. This time, lift the left heel. 3 little dips on your left heel. Put that foot down. Lift the other heel. 3 little dips. Put that foot down. Lift both heels. 3 little dips. Stretch it up. Good stuff. Maybe give those legs a little kick. Oh yeah. And then back out, second round, and then we're done with goddess. So back down into our goddess. Lift that left heel. 3 little dips. Good. Drop it down. Other heel. 3 little dips. Drop it down. Both heels. 3 little dips. Yeah. Stretch it up. Whew. Good stuff, guys. You'll be pleased to know that's goddess done. So, if Malasana is in your practice, we're going to come down into Malasana, so yogi squat. If not, just squat as much as you can. If you can take your hips all the way down, come all the way down, bring your hands into heart center. Trying to stretch our tailbone down towards the floor as we stretch our shoulders up towards the ceiling. So trying to get our spine as long as we can. Couple of breaths here. Good stuff. And then take the hips all the way down to the ground. And we're going to turn this way. Yeah. So the next one is boat pose. So you can keep your toes down to start with if you like. Equally, you can have your hands to support you behind you if you like. The most important thing is for your core to be strong. So if you feel that your lower back is bulging out, then put something down, because we don't ever want to leave our lower back at risk. So always take care of your lower back. If your core is feeling nice and strong, then we start just by having our arms up in front of us. And then pulse up and pulse down. Pulse up, pulse down, pulse up, pulse down. Then put the hands down. This time we'll pulse the legs. So first of all, squeeze the legs together, make them one. Make those legs nice and strong. Really pull the tummy muscles in and up, and then squeeze the knees in, lower them slightly. Squeeze them in, lower them slightly, squeeze them in, lower them slightly. Good. You can now do both if you like, or you can keep one or other down. Otherwise, come up into low boat, squeeze it in, release it off slightly. Squeeze it in, release it off. Squeeze it in, release it off. And then to rest, we cross our legs and we just let ourselves hang over our legs slightly. Then take it back up, second round.
So it's up to you. You can either just do arms, just do legs, or do both. But really pull the core in and up first. Then come into your chosen low boat. Squeeze it in, release it off slightly. Squeeze it in, release it off. Squeeze it in, release it off. Cross the legs the other way, lay forward and have a little rest. Okay, last set. For this one, you can either do what we just did, or we do one leg, back down, we do the other leg, back down, we do both legs, back down. I know some of you guys have done this with me before anyway. So you can either do your pulses or you can do your legs. So start off in your low boat pose. Really find your sit bones on the mat first. Pull that core in and up so you're strong. And then left leg up, back down. Right leg up, back down. Both legs up, back down. Once more. Left leg, down. Right leg, down. Both legs, down. Good. Cross the legs, roll over, have a rest. Beautiful stuff. Okay, the next one is camel. If you don't like camel for any reason, or if you're feeling particularly emotional today because full moons can do crazy things to you, then you can always lay in Sphinx for this instead if you would like, because what I'm really looking for here is your chest opener. So if you'd rather lay in Sphinx with your elbows underneath your shoulders, your hands straight out in front of you, and your chest really pulling forwards, just focusing on the breath, then feel free to do Sphinx. If you'd like to join me in camel, then come up onto your knees. Your knees should be directly below your hips, or a little wider, perhaps, depending on the placement of your hips. So play with what feels comfortable. We start with our feet parallel, straight behind our knees, and our hands on our sacrum, so lower part of your back, with the fingertips pointing down. Now we're really interested in opening the chest and opening the heart here. So squeeze the elbows together behind you to already open the shoulders and open the chest. Lift the chest up towards the ceiling, squeeze the hips forwards, and then see if you can go into a little bit of a back bend. Really reaching the chest up towards the ceiling so the curve is even along the whole spine, and we're protecting our lower back. Really keep those hips forward, squeeze the bum, squeeze the inner thighs, squeeze the legs. Take a nice big inhale here, and then exhale, pull the tummy muscles in, come up through center, take the hips all the way back to the heels, and stretch the arms out in front of you, coming into child's pose. And you can do that if you're in Sphinx too. Take the hips back towards your heels, walk yourself into child's pose. Really stretching the fingers away from you, trying to elongate the spine as much as possible, and then relax the arms down. Good. Then coming up, walk the hands towards your knees. Lift the hips back up into camel, or go back into your Sphinx pose if that was your chosen one. You can either do the same, hands on the sacrum with the fingers pointing down and coming into your camel, or if you want to go a little deeper, come onto your toes first so that your heels are closer to you. Then take your back bend, so squeeze your bum, squeeze your hips forward, lift the chest up towards the ceiling, go back into your back bend, and then maybe see if you can reach for one heel, keeping the hips forwards. If you feel like you have to lean your hips all the way back here, then taking the full back bend is not for you today. And then whichever pose you've chosen, take 3 really deep breaths in that pose. If you're in full camel, bring your hands back to sacrum. Take a nice big inhale. On an exhale, pull all of your tummy muscles in. Come up through center. Take the hips back down to your heels. If you're in Sphinx pose, walk your hands back towards you And we'll all meet together in child's pose. Stretching those fingers away from you to start with, walking them as far as you can, and then allowing the elbows to relax down. And then encourage your sit bones down towards your heels. And have 3 nice deep breaths here. Okay, last active pose. So walk yourself back up into your seat. Spin your legs out behind you and bring them in front of you. And we're just going to finish with a gentle inversion. So if you have no problems in your neck and you're happy with shoulder stand, then we'll do shoulder stand. If you have any problems in your neck, or if you have any eye issues like glaucoma or detached retina or anything like that, then just do bridge instead. So if we're doing bridge, we come down onto our back, feet are parallel with our hips, arms down by our sides, and we lift our hips up into bridge. So this is the gentle inversion option. You can also take the bind of the fingers behind your back if you want to, rolling onto the outside edges of your shoulders so you can lift your hips a little higher. If you've got no problems and you're happy in shoulder stand, always keep your head dead center, hug your knees in towards you and then roll them over your head, supporting your hands with your lower back, getting your elbows as close together as you can. We then take the feet up towards the ceiling, pulling the tummy muscles in and really supporting the hips with your hands. Excellent. Try and take your feet back slightly. Good. Really pull the tummy muscles in. Excellent. So take 3 deep breaths in whichever one you've chosen. Good. And then we'll hold it for another 5, 4, squeeze everything in and up, 2, 2.5, 1. Then hug your knees in towards your chest and roll yourself all the way back down and have a little cheeky laugh. Right, okay, little twist, and then we're going to move into a really nice long Savasana tonight because I think you've all earned it. So arms straight out to the sides of your body. Hug your knees in towards your chest. If you want a deeper twist, you can cross your legs here. If you're happy with a normal twist, then knees side by side. Take a nice big inhale and really gluing your shoulders down as much as you can so they stay in contact with the floor. Exhale the knees over towards the left. If they touch down, great. If they don't, not a problem. And you can always take the knees further away if that feels more comfortable for you. And then lastly, take your head in the opposite direction so you're looking out over your right shoulder. And whilst you're here, just have a little scan for any areas where the muscles might be hanging on or where there's any areas of tension. And as you take a nice big inhale, see if you can send the vibrations of the breath to that spot. And as you exhale, let the vibrations of that breath ease that tension away. And on your next inhale, bring your head back to centre. On an exhale, hug the tummy muscles in and roll the knees back to centre. Take a nice big inhale at centre. And then exhale, roll your knees to the other side. And look out over your left shoulder. Try and be as relaxed as you possibly can in this pose, trying to keep your shoulders glued down onto the mat. And then again, see if there's any tight spots on this side, see if there's anywhere where you're holding tension. Take a nice big inhale, letting the vibrations of the breath work their way through the tissues of the body into that spot. And then as you exhale, release that tension away with your breath. And bringing your head back to center with your next inhale. On your next exhale, pull the tummy muscles in and roll the hips back onto the mat, with the feet coming down last. And then moving into final Savasana. So take the arms down by your sides and your feet out long, letting the feet fall open. Any tension in the lower back or any active sciatica, bring your feet to the floor and let the knees roll in instead. Otherwise, take the legs out long. Tuck the tailbone under so the lower back is really comfortable, and then tuck your shoulder blades under the torso so that your shoulders are really comfortable. Let your hands be palm up if you're feeling chill. If you feel like you need to be more grounded, then let your palms be palm down or put them somewhere on your body. And then just take your awareness back to the breath. Again, not changing it in any way to start with, simply noticing its natural ebb and flow. And also just noticing whether it's changed at all since the start of class. Whether any of the areas of those I can't speak this evening, whether any areas of tension that you noticed at the start of class have released. Notice if the breath runs slightly more smoothly. And then take your awareness to your nostrils. And without touching your nostrils at all, we'll focus the breath to come in through our left nostril and out through our right nostril. In through the left and out through the right. In through the left and out through the right. Keep this going, breathing in through the left and out through the right. It's a great breath to stimulate the rest and digest system, our parasympathetic nervous system. So if you're ever feeling stressed or worked up, the best thing to do is lie down. Breathe in through the left nostril and out through the right. this breathing going for another 6 breaths. In through the left, out through the right. And wherever you are with focusing your breath on your nostrils, let that breath go. And let your breathing just come and go as it pleases. And notice how heavy your body's got on the mat. The feet are heavy, with the heels pressing into the mat. The lower legs are heavy, with the calves pressing into the mat. The knees are completely relaxed. And the thighs are heavy, pressing into the mat. Your pelvis is heavy, with the back of it pressing into the mat. The belly is soft. There's maybe some space for light and air between the floor and your lower back. The middle back is heavy, pressing into the mat. As the ribs gently move with the ebb and flow of your breath. The shoulders are relaxed, pressing into the mat. Feel the weight of your hands pressing down. Wrists are relaxed. Forearms are heavy, pressing into the mat. The elbows are heavy. Your upper arms and shoulders heavy and pressing into the mat. Then notice the space for light and air around the back of the neck. Having a little rest from carrying your head around all day, as your head is completely supported by the ground beneath you. Your whole body is heavy, pressing into the mat. Your whole body is completely relaxed. So wherever you've wandered off to, bring your awareness back to your body laid on the mat. And gently start to think about moving. Maybe a single finger or a single toe. Maybe rolling the head from one side to the other. Maybe circling through the wrists and the ankles. however your body wants to move, whether it is stretching out as long as you possibly can, or maybe hugging your knees into a tight ball, or twisting, or stretching out down the side body. Move in whatever way your body craves. And then when you're ready, roll over onto your side and gradually make your way up to seated.
Stay down.
Or just stay where you are.
So thank you for coming and practicing with me this evening. Thank you to Kat and Ollie for letting me take over their front room. And I hope to see you all on your mats again soon. Thank you to my wonderful, beautiful assistant. Beautifully demonstrated.